Tyler Waldrop here with the Tulsa World after Oklahoma State's 38-28 loss to Baylor. I mean, I think this is a new low for the team, probably. For the most part, the Utah loss certainly looks different now, but for the most part, you can point and say, well, that team looks good, maybe even looks better than their record. I don't know that I feel that way about this Baylor team, but 12 penalties just caught up to Oklahoma State today. And to me, I know, obviously Oklahoma State still can't tackle consistently, can't stop the run at all. But that's what this team has been all year. That's not anything new. What was new was the penalties. One of the things you could say about this team is it was disciplined. It didn't commit these kind of things. There were no unforced errors, at least where that goes. Another issue that's been slowly catching up with this team recently is sacks. I actually think Oklahoma State ran the ball okay today. And, if you look at the box score, you're going to go, oh my gosh, they sucked. 74 total rushing yards. Alan Bowman lost 38 rushing yards, most of those coming on 3 sacks. So if you take that away, Oklahoma State they did okay on the ground. I mean, again, we got to put it in perspective with where this team has been all year. This team all year has not been able to run the ball. Kansas State, Oklahoma State could run it for maybe the first quarter, and then the running game just kind of disappeared. Obviously, Oklahoma State could run the ball against BYU with a running quarterback out there, but today Oklahoma State was able to run semi-consistently for the whole game. I felt like that was a positive. Had this team won, I would have said that's something to build on. As it stands, this team didn't win. I don't know how much you can build on that in a loss. I do think this team is getting better at running the ball. I don't know, unless Alan Bowman starts running, I don't know if we're going to see a breakthrough the same way we saw against BYU. I was disappointed that Alan Bowman ran one time on 3rd and 18, and he went down for a loss. And that, to me, was the worst time for him to run. That said, I was surprised. I was a little disappointed that we didn't see it more. Gundy talked all week that he was going to commit to the run even if Bowman was out there and instead of Rangel. We didn't see that. After the game, Alan Bowman talked a little bit about it's a confidence issue for him. He watched Garrett. He knows Garrett can be dynamic as a runner at times, and he knows he can't. There were a couple plays today, he said, where, he probably should have kept the ball and ran a little bit. Even if it's only 2 yards, just so the defense is looking at him and it opens things up for Ollie. I do think that's the only way Oklahoma State is going to have another good rushing performance this season, is if Alan Bowman can run the ball himself and then the defense softens up a little bit and Ollie's able to get going. I thought Ollie played well today for the most part. Obviously, the fumble, disappointing for him, super uncharacteristic. But other than the fumble, I mean, I thought he ran well with what he was getting. And I thought the offensive line at times created more space for him than they have in other games. But, it seems like without a running quarterback to sort of soften defenses up, I don't think Oklahoma State is going to be able to get things going. That said, I do like what I'm seeing from Rodney Fields. Rodney Fields finished with 5 carries for 19 yards. I thought that's a spark for this team. I think Rodney should continue to play. At some point, he is going to have to decide if he wants to redshirt, and Mike Gundy has been clear that's his decision. So I don't know if we're going to see Rodney Fields for all of the last 4 games, but he's got 2 more. And if he only plays 2 more, Oklahoma State should lean on him at times. They've got to find a way to get things moving on the ground, because I think Bowman can move the ball through the air when the pressure isn't on. And I thought at times he looked better today because of that. But, of course, again, I mean, nothing can account for the defense. This offense is just not dynamic enough to score if the defense can't tackle and can't stop the run. And honestly, if I'm playing Oklahoma State the rest of this year, I don't know why I'm even attempting passes. I would just line up and run the ball until they stop me. And at some point today, Baylor figured that out, and I think that's the biggest reason why Baylor left today with a win.